Most promises people make to themselves are loud in the beginning. This is the time I finally change. I'm going all in. No more excuses. There's usually emotion attached to it. Frustration, inspiration, guilt, urgency, hope. And for a few days, maybe even for a few weeks, that emotion creates momentum. But eventually, the emotional wave fades. Life becomes normal again. And that's when things become interesting. Because long-term consistency is not built on dramatic declarations. It's built on a quiet promise you keep repeatedly after the excitement disappears. It feels easy when the emotions are running the show. You're motivated, so you go hard out of the gate. You're starting fresh, so perfection is the standard. You are intensely focused and on task, driven by disappointment in past failure. But will you continue showing up once the behavior stops feeling emotionally charged and the work required becomes apparent? That's the real test. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Consistency, from fitness to flourishing. Don't underestimate how much self-trust is built in ordinary moments. A short walk when nobody sees it. A workout on a flat day. Choosing to move before sitting down for the night. Following through when the action feels small and forgettable. Those moments may seem insignificant on their own. Stacked all together over the long term, they are massive. Because every time you follow through, you reinforce an understanding. I honor my commitments. That knowledge, based on the evidence of ever more consistent follow-through, changes a person over time. You begin carrying yourself differently when your actions become reliable. There's less internal conflict and doubt, less guilt, less negotiation, less dependence on motivation. You stop needing to convince yourself every day because the behavior starts becoming a natural part of your identity. That's what consistency creates. Internal credibility. Internal credibility is hard to fake. A person who repeatedly breaks promises to themselves often starts losing confidence in areas beyond exercise. They hesitate more, delay more, trust themselves less. They lower standards quietly, not privately, in order to train their consistency after having correctly assessed their current skill level, but in secret, to protect their image and struggling ego. They normalize inconsistency because repeated non-follow-through teaches the brain a dangerous lesson. Any commitment I make is negotiable. Quitting when things get difficult or I just don't feel like it is always an option. That lesson, if not recognized and replaced, spreads into work, relationships, and personal goals. It becomes a pattern of self-doubt that extends far beyond the gym or the morning walk, which is why it's best to proactively learn the opposite lesson. I honor my commitments. Every small act of follow-through becomes evidence. Evidence that you can rely on yourself, that your word matters, that your standards are real, that your actions are becoming stable. That's why consistency matters even when the workout seems embarrassingly small. The physical result is only part of the equation. The deeper, more important effect is identity-based. You are practicing becoming someone who follows through. And the elegance of this process is it becomes quieter over time. In the beginning, consistency feels emotional. You are fighting against resistance, your past conditioning. You are reinforcing and celebrating small wins, pushing through doubt, Later, it feels normal. You stop needing constant emotional fuel because the promise no longer feels negotiable. It becomes part of who you are through repeated behavioral proof. You do what you said you would do. Most people are waiting for a breakthrough moment that suddenly changes their life. A dramatic transformation. A sudden shift in identity. More often, lasting change happens through a quiet promise repeated long enough that it reshapes identity. A walk after dinner. A few minutes of movement before breakfast. A workout on a low-energy day. A decision to continue instead of restarting. Tiny moments repeated consistently until follow-through becomes familiar. That's the promise you quietly keep every day. And eventually, it changes the relationship you have with yourself. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. If you're ready to rebuild your word to yourself one small, consistent rep at a time, begin your day one inside the ACT Score Challenge. That's it for today. Catch you next time.